The man clearly has over 100 sisters, but not a single one wants to get close to him. They even despise him, refusing to let him enter their homes, simply because in the Crimson Roach clan everyone is red, while he alone is a black freak. In the eyes of his kin, he's undoubtedly an ugly oddity. Only his roach mother never abandons him. Without her, he probably couldn't have survived his first molting. Banbo's original planet was in the galaxy, a semi-tech, semi-martial civilization. His ship encountered a space-time turbulence, and when he regained consciousness, he discovered he had been reborn as a roach on this primitive planet. What should I do now? Standing on a leaf at the top of a tree, Banbo falls deep in thought. Looking at this frail body, he's still 6 stages away from becoming a subadult. Most of his sisters from the same batch are already at the 7th-instar. While he has only completed 3 moltings, he's still at the weak 4th-instar. Banbo suspects it's because his human intelligence overworks his brain, consuming all the nutrients needed for growth and molting. According to the roach's genetic memory, he must complete at least 9 moltings to reach subadult stage before winter arrives, or he won't survive the cold. Banbo picks up a fallen leaf. Though it's inferior food, it can still promote growth. The only advantage of being a roach is not dying easily. Even with severed limbs, they'll regrow during the next molting. But Banbo discovers he has instant limb regeneration, having already broken his legs 5 times before as night falls. The roaches around him begin foraging. Tens of thousands of roaches live nearby, and they face the same problem during feeding: excess energy but insufficient protein. Their intelligence is extremely low. They only follow genetic memory. Crawling to burn energy while searching for insect remains they'll almost never find. Banbo doesn't waste effort like that. He burns energy strategically by finding high places to glide from. Roaches have membranous wings, but most aren't good at flying or simply can't fly at all. Banbo plans to train and see if he can master flight. His previously broken legs were all from failed flight attempts. Limb regeneration consumes tremendous energy. Banbo persists relentlessly to verify one question: can roaches become warriors through scientific training like humans do? The genetic memory he gained from his 3rd molting reveals Banbo's exact species: the Crimson Roach clan, a branch of the Skyfire Roach Tribe. The clan has Crimson Roach warriors who rule the entire jungle. But Banbo wonders, are roach warriors born as force beings, or do they evolve into them? After returning from foraging, Banbo goes back to his burrow and picks a plump leaf to chew on. With so many clan members, there's never enough meat outside. He can only fill his belly with leaves now. Suddenly, 2 antennae poke through the narrow entrance, waving and releasing pheromones. Meat! Eat! Simple, fragmented messages filled with excitement. Banbo rejoices, drops the leaf, and quickly scurries out. Standing at the entrance is a long-bodied roach, her 2 front legs gripping a strand of meat torn from somewhere, presenting it to Banbo like a treasure. His mother's body color has already dulled, her body beginning to age. Her life is approaching its end. Roaches have 2 reproductive modes: parthenogenesis and sexual reproduction. Only sexual reproduction has a small chance of producing male roaches. The hundreds of roaches nearby are all her daughters. Banbo is her only son. In the Crimson Roach clan's aesthetic, red is the beautiful color. Banbo is a freak. After his first molting, his shell turned dark brown. To other clan members, he's undoubtedly an ugly aberration. His sisters all despise him and refuse to stay with him. Only this roach mother never abandons him, caring for him devotedly. About a month ago, his mother brought 2 strands of meat in the middle of the night, helping him complete his 3rd molting ahead of schedule. Banbo doesn't hold back, chewing with satisfaction while pondering. Such thick muscle fibers must be from a large creature. Where did it come from? Last time could be explained by luck, a chance encounter. But what about this time? Mother Roach lovingly waves her antennae, touching Banbo's, conveying joy. Meat. More! She turns and scurries away. Banbo has a sudden idea, waving his antennae urgently. Wait! Together! Mother stops, turns back, antennae waving with confusion as she looks at Banbo. Go together! Mother's antennae signal danger. Banbo continues signaling. Not afraid? Together! Mother stands still, thinking for a long while, before finally agreeing to let Banbo come along. For tiny roaches, it's quite a long journey. Mother stops several times to feed on decaying leaves, replenishing her energy, then continues onward until deep into the night, finally reaching the sunny side of the mountain. Banbo is drawn to the bushes ahead. Those must be raspberries, covered with raspberry fruits. These are force plants. Banbo recognizes them immediately. Beside the raspberries, a giant roach with a brilliant crimson body leisurely cuts a section from a half-eaten snake carcass, peels off the skin, and tosses it. The surrounding roaches immediately swarm over it, frantically fighting for the scraps. This is the Crimson Roach clan warrior described in genetic memory. The clan's warriors know how to actively use the force to achieve genetic evolution, or perhaps it's their racial genetic potential. Banbo stares, dazed. Mother Roach rushes toward an even larger skeleton nearby. Banbo snaps back to attention and looks closely. Essentially, the incomplete skeleton of a large creature is like a small mountain, with roaches crowding around it, fighting for food. Banbo looks at the Crimson Roach Warrior. After taking just a few bites of the meat in his grasp, he casually tosses it away, immediately triggering a frenzy among the waiting roaches nearby. The area around the Crimson Warrior is bare except for planted saplings, all force plants. In force-rich areas, ordinary plants have a tiny chance of genetic mutation to become force plants. Force plants can't reproduce. Each one is a unique existence in the universe, the highest level of carbon-based plant life. Even human technology cannot alter the mutation probability or reproduce them. Banbo doesn't believe roaches on a primitive planet can do what humans cannot. What puzzles him is where all these force plants came from. Does this planet have a high probability of spawning force plants? To learn more, he'll have to grow and awaken more genetic memories. Based on his own size, Banbo estimates the Crimson Warrior is about 1 meter long. On the third planet of the solar system, that would terrify quite a few young ladies. He wonders about the size and combat power of other clan warriors. Knowing how to cultivate force plants and actively absorb force for genetic evolution means infinite possibilities. There must be incredibly powerful beings. Lost in thought, Banbo can only nibble on rotten leaves from the ground. He's far too weak to compete for meat. Mother successfully snatches a meat strand and excitedly rushes to Banbo, her antennae gently patting his head, conveying joy. Eat? Eat quick! At this moment, Banbo desires growth more than ever to escape the larval stage as soon as possible. Only subadults have a chance of surviving the coming winter. Subadults. Larvae that have grown into full adults. The next step is becoming a Crimson Roach Warrior, absorbing force to achieve genetic evolution. Banbo doesn't hesitate, clutching the meat and feeding. He desperately needs meat to replenish his nutrition. Seeing this, Mother happily touches Banbo's antennae again with her own, then continues fighting for more food. Just then, a force fruit emits an orange glow, the signal of ripeness. The Crimson Warrior carefully cuts the fruit down with his sharp front claws, then tentatively swallows it. Immediately, his whole body trembles, membranous wings fluttering with a joyful rustling sound, antennae waving excitedly with delight. Judging by his reaction, this is clearly his first time tasting a force fruit. When Banbo was human, he consumed a force fruit once. He knows its benefits, and more importantly, its dangers. Force fruits are extremely efficient at transforming genes. Massive numbers of body cells die during genetic evolution, consuming energy and expelling dead cells, while also requiring nutrients for cell division and proliferation to repair bodily damage. The Crimson Warrior also seems aware of the dangers. He bites each subsequent fruit in half, consuming it in 2 doses. Mother snatches another meat strand and rushes back, urging him to eat quickly. In this primitive society, strength is the only path to survival. With so many roaches around the carcass, getting meat is extremely difficult. By the time dawn breaks, Mother has only made 5 trips total. After consuming 5 meat strands of varying sizes, Banbo finally feels that drowsy sensation, the sign of imminent molting. At this moment, the Crimson Warrior has eaten all but 1 fruit from the ripe raspberry. Yet after only a moment's hesitation, he kicks the fruit away. Several adult roaches waiting nearby immediately spring into action, desperately fighting for it, some even biting each other over it. Banbo knows it's not that simple. The Crimson Warrior might be conducting an experiment. He sensed the force fruit's ability to promote genetic evolution. He wants to verify whether force fruits can help ordinary roaches break their limits and evolve into beings like himself. The result is immediate. The roach eating the raspberry gets halfway through when its 6 legs go weak and it collapses. But the roach's low intelligence can't comprehend the situation. They rush forward to fight over the raspberry. The one that eats it also dies. After a while, the watching roaches confirm both are dead, and without hesitation swarm forward to feast on the corpses. But the force fruit's energy is too strong. A whole patch of roaches collapses, convulsing to death. Mother, standing beside Banbo, sees the mass of roach bodies and instinctively starts to run over for food. Banbo, terrified, quickly stops her. Only then does Banbo discover in shock that Mother's hind leg has been severed at some point. Mother doesn't have instant limb regeneration. She's already a 19th-instar adult and can no longer regrow limbs through molting. Combined with her aging body, she was already unlikely to survive this winter. This injury only makes things worse. Banbo feels guilty and upset, waving his antennae to send concerned signals. Mother waves her antennae reassuringly. Fine, eat. Mother still eyes the roaches on the ground longingly. She only knows that meat will help her son grow quickly. This is the purest, most primal maternal love, untainted by complexity. At the same time, Mother suddenly becomes alarmed, signaling danger. Banbo senses commotion behind him. The Crimson Warrior by the raspberry bushes takes flight, then drives away the surrounding roaches. Mother nervously drags a dazed Banbo backward. The Crimson Warrior quickly digs a large pit, buries all the roaches, and covers it with a large stone. The experiment failed. He has no intention of further investigation, and shows no grief over the death of so many clan members. As the sun gradually rises, Mother reminds Banbo that he should hide in the burrow during the day to avoid being hunted by birds. Banbo is still worried about Mother's injury. Even lowly insects have genuine emotions. How much more so a human soul? Banbo decides to make one last attempt. He keeps urging Mother, pulling her to the stone covering the experimental roach corpses, and starts digging vigorously. Mother thinks Banbo plans to dig up the roaches and chirps happily, joining in the digging. Banbo isn't digging for the roaches, he just wants to dig a burrow as a new nest. He plans to live here long term. Banbo finds communicating with Mother truly exhausting. He has to repeat each message about 10 times before she understands and acts accordingly. Seeing Mother finally willing to stop and rest, Banbo asks, "Hungry?" Mother immediately responds, "Not hungry." She's happy. Just being with her son seems to make her happy. Banbo hurriedly runs out of the burrow, searches nearby, cuts a piece of decayed leaf, and rushes back with it in his mandibles. After being busy for half a day and repeatedly warning Mother not to dig up the roaches below, Banbo finally falls into a peaceful sleep. In his slumber, various chaotic genetic knowledge floods his soul memory, all kinds of edible foods, and 18 moltings, jungle survival skills inscribed in racial genes. With each molting and growth, it repeats, and he sleeps. The molting lasts an entire day. When he wakes, he finds the burrow lined with a thick layer of decayed leaves, likely brought by Mother while he slept. Mother is nowhere to be found. She doesn't only have Banbo as an ungrown son, she has nearly 100 daughters in the larval stage who also need care. Banbo sighs helplessly. The pheromone language available for roach communication is so limited that he can't explain the effects of force fruits. Even if he could, Mother wouldn't understand. Banbo eats a small piece of leaf, then begins chewing on his molted shell. From observing the Crimson Warrior eating raspberry fruits, Banbo deduces that these force fruits can strengthen cell vitality, essentially genetic-level life extension. Ordinary roaches absolutely cannot consume force fruits directly. Even the tiniest amount will kill them, as they can't withstand the force's cellular transformation. However, after force fruits ripen without special preservation methods, the force they contain slowly dissipates. The dead roaches must have already diluted the fruit. Banbo chose to live here because the dissipating force creates a weak radiation field with gentle genetic modification capabilities. This level of modification is within ordinary roaches' tolerance and could slightly reverse Mother's aging, helping her survive this winter. Unfortunately, Mother can't understand Banbo's intentions and, driven by instinct, returns to the mountain where her daughters gather. The effect should last about a day. Should I bring her back? Banbo steps out of the burrow to observe the situation outside. The Crimson Warrior has hunted another snake. He seems to really enjoy eating snakes. Tens of thousands of adult roaches form a surrounding circle. Whenever snake skin or scraps with bits of meat are tossed out, they immediately swarm over in a feeding frenzy. Banbo can sense that the warrior is deliberately throwing out more meat to feed the weak, hoping more warriors like himself will emerge from the clan. Dawn arrives quickly. Just as Banbo prepares to search for Mother, she returns on her own. Banbo urges Mother to eat and rest in the burrow. There's too little snake meat. Mother knows she can't compete with the younger adults. Resting, Mother begins eating some leaves, but soon grows restless and starts digging into the soil. She hasn't forgotten about the 20+ roaches buried below. Banbo stops Mother's actions, repeatedly releasing danger pheromones. Mother waves her antennae, signaling confusion. Banbo grows anxious. Mother finally gives up digging and turns to leave. Banbo blocks her, continuing to signal. Mother is confused again. After a bout of agitation, Mother finally complies and stays to rest in the burrow. Banbo fears she'll run out to fight for snake meat. If she gets injured again, there'll be no saving her. He simply blocks the burrow entrance. Once Mother calms down, she stops trying to dig up roaches or leave to scavenge. She rests quietly until daylight. The wound has healed. Fortunately, there's no sign of infection. Looking closer, Mother's shell remains dull and lusterless, showing no sign of improvement. Banbo's spirits sink. The raspberry's cell-strengthening effect is limited. It can't reverse aging. It's beyond help. Banbo continues observing and discovers. The Crimson Warrior departs at dusk, diving into the vast jungle below the mountains to hunt. When he returns, ordinary roaches on this mountain gradually emerge, all robust adults. Banbo completely abandons the idea of competing for snake meat and returns to the burrow beneath the stone to dig. Seeing this, Mother happily waves her antennae and helps carry soil out of the burrow. Finally, they excavate the roaches buried in the soil. Banbo faintly senses weak traces of force still lingering on the corpses, but isn't sure if his current physique can handle it. Banbo tosses one outside to observe. Seeing the roaches remain unharmed, Banbo begins consuming them. Banbo urges Mother to eat. Mother likewise waves her antennae Hane urging him, but Bambo can't bear to eat. Instead, he drags one corpse outside. He plans to bring the extra food to mother living on another mountain. According to genetic memory, the dangerous winter is coming. Weak roaches, larvae, and elderly adults will all freeze to death. The young roaches born from mother's last egg case this year are only at the third or fourth instar. They desperately need meat to grow. Bambo doesn't have the energy to care about his countless sisters' survival. He simply hopes the mother who cared for him can live longer. After urging 6 or 7 times, mother finally begins eating until her strength is restored. She still insists on bringing food to her daughters. Bambo feels powerless and helpless, utterly dejected, and no longer stops her. He watches mother drag the corpse away until she disappears. From his recent observations, the force fruit's effects show no significant improvement on mother's aging body. Aging and death remain natural law. Even human civilization with advanced technology cannot reverse it. He's just a humble roach larva now. Why force it? Better to let nature take its course. And so, after 5 days of continuous feeding and training, Bambo reaches his 5th molting. By the next day, Bambo completes his 5th molting. Mother made several more trips during this time. Now only one roach remains buried underground, without meat, surviving purely on decayed leaves. Each instar's growth time will double, about 10 days each. That means another 40 days to reach subadult stage. With ordinary roach combat power, at 0, no hunting ability, and unable to compete with adult roaches for food, what can he do? Bambo thinks of 2 options. The first is using force fruits. The roaches will instinctively fight for them, which should kill many. The second option is relocating, wandering the mountains, to scavenge insects that can't withstand the cold autumn nights and freeze to death. The first method is safe and efficient but too vicious, violating moral principles. The second carries risks. He might be hunted by snakes or rodents. After much deliberation, Bambo ultimately chooses the first method. After all, there are tens of millions of roaches here. And so, using the first method, Bambo stockpiles many roaches. The Crimson Warrior assumes the ripe raspberries fell naturally, attracting ignorant clanmates to feed. He takes it for granted. Bambo perches on a withered branch, silently enjoying the weak force radiating from below, transforming his body. The only regret is, mother's condition shows no improvement whatsoever. Morning comes and leaves begin yellowing. The once bustling mountain falls silent, with only 2 roaches, one large and one small, still active. The Crimson Warrior hunts less frequently, staying away longer each time. Sometimes he's gone for 2 or 3 days, hunting large, warm-blooded animals like deer and wild boar. Since he only brings back portions, he's likely hunting with other warriors. The Crimson Warrior notices this frail clanmate can actually remain active in winter and is quite surprised. So each time he actively cuts off a large chunk of fresh meat and leaves it at Bambo's burrow entrance. In return, Bambo collects leaves to loosen soil and fertilize the force plants. The Crimson Warrior can't fathom the complex thoughts in Bambo's head, and doesn't even understand the purpose of his strange behaviors, though he doesn't stop him. The jungle winter is quiet but not peaceful. Death occurs constantly. Mother has disappeared. Bambo searched far and wide but couldn't find her. In winter, roaches huddle together for warmth, but it's not very effective. Less than 1 in 100 survive. Survivors consume the dead, gaining nutrients to either grow quickly or reproduce prolifically. This is why the Crimson Roach clan rebounds so vigorously, absorbing force, completing the 19th molting. Only Crimson Roaches who've endured winter and summer trials can sense cosmic force and become Crimson Warriors. Rest during the day to conserve energy. Be active at night to train the body. Always eat plenty of meat to keep energy abundant. Become a Crimson Warrior. Spring thunder booms, jolting the sleeping Bambo awake. His 18th molting was nearing completion but gets interrupted. Bambo looks up at the rock wall covered in tally marks, 30 of them, meaning 150 days, plus the 64 days he lived on the neighboring mountain before moving. He's experienced half a scorching summer, an entire bleak autumn, and a desolate, deadly winter. Bambo examines his pale gray shell with a surge of emotion. Finally, 19th instar. Each molting brings subtle structural changes to his body. After over 10 times, Bambo's appearance differs considerably from male Crimson Roaches. He wonders how his flying ability compares. What concerns Bambo more is a new segment of memory. Upon becoming a Crimson Warrior, the first life seed should be a shrub seed. It concerns how to continue growing after becoming a Crimson Warrior, though it's vague. As for life seeds, Bambo suspects they're connected to force plants. What Bambo didn't expect is, this planet has so many force plants that there's actually a choice. When Bambo was human, his host family was wealthy, but even they only maintained a single force plant. Spring arrives, but the Crimson Warrior is nowhere to be found. Without the threat, bold birds come to the mountain to forage. He left before I fell asleep. Counting the time, it's been over 5 days. Could something have happened to him? Banbo guesses the Crimson Warrior went hunting, but worries about his potential death. Without a powerful protector, there's no safety. Leaving the burrow risks his life at any moment. Another 5 days of waiting. Still no return, and no other Crimson Warriors from nearby arrive either. The Crimson Warrior has been missing over 10 days. Banbo gives up hope completely and, forced by survival pressure, considers self-reliance. While hunting, Banbo accidentally discovers another weak insect he can prey on, longhorn beetle larvae, plump things with zero combat ability. Killing one provides a full day's food. Banbo simply stops returning to the mountain and begins a nomadic life. He hides in tree hollows to rest during the day and early night, then emerges before dawn to search trees for larvae. Banbo witnesses clanmates traveling at night being hunted multiple times, and even sees what might be a lynx or possibly a cheetah. Massive feline predators. Ordinary roaches are at the absolute bottom of this jungle's food chain. Without protection, they're nothing but prey. Thud, thud, thud. Banbo's nap is interrupted. He waves his antennae, identifying by scent that some bird is pecking at his door. Banbo cautiously peers out. Suddenly, a hard, sharp beak strikes like lightning. Banbo responds equally fast, swinging his front claws, sharp tips smashing into the beak. Terrified, Banbo quickly retreats deep into the tree hollow. At 12 centimeters, Banbo is much stronger than ordinary adult roaches, but compared to the woodpecker outside, he's no match. The trunk is actually pierced by the beak. The bird's tongue senses precisely, locking onto his location. Banbo retreats while swinging his front limbs, striking even faster, stabbing fiercely and creating 2 wounds. The woodpecker screeches in rage, then furiously continues pecking, attacking the trunk even more frantically, determined to demolish Banbo's home. Banbo looks outside. It's still light. He relaxes completely. Pecking 2 holes has already taken considerable time. Pecking away this entire section of trunk is impossible. After working a while, the woodpecker suddenly hops onto a branch and calls loudly. Another woodpecker flies over. The 2 birds exchange brief signals on the branch. Then get to work? Reinforcements? They're really after me now. 2 woodpeckers together can definitely peck through the trunk. Then there'll be nowhere to hide. After much thought, only one conclusion: certain death. My soul was mutated by metal core radiation. Will I be reborn again after this death? If so, I hope next time it's a stronger life form. I've worked so hard growing from a roach larva to an adult. Recently, I can vaguely sense the force's existence. I'm showing signs of sleep evolution. I'm about to become a force being at the top of the food chain. Yet I'll fail at this critical moment. Banbo plans to catch one off guard and blind a woodpecker's eye before dying. Suddenly, a woodpecker's shriek sounds outside the tree nest. The pecking abruptly stops. Peering through the pecked hole, he sees a brown and black-striped scaly body slowly sliding past. Banbo cautiously emerges from the tree nest, quickly looks around, then quickly retreats. No sign of the woodpeckers or where the python went. A deadly crisis resolved just like that. The roaches living on the mountain attract many predators. He must relocate far from this dangerous place. Banbo climbs a tall tree and surveys from the top. This location is sufficiently distant from the mountain, just a faint blue shadow on the horizon. This time he must find a truly safe shelter. During his search, Banbo discovers an even better shelter, a massive black boulder standing in the jungle. Banbo surveys the surroundings. Beside the boulder is a small patch of grass, and nearby are dense primeval trees. There are surely plenty of insects weaker than himself. No need to worry about food. The 19th molting is the transformation from ordinary life to force being. The sleep will likely be very long. Banbo must ensure absolute safety during his slumber. The massive excavation project takes nearly half a month. Finally, the safe shelter is complete. Banbo can hold on no longer. He lies down in the deepest chamber and falls into deep sleep. Earth-shaking thunder. The ground itself seems to tremble. I am Banbo, human, roach, Skyfire Roach Tribe, Crimson Roach Clan warrior. Almost by instinct, he begins chewing the leaves in the chamber. After consuming all the stored leaves, he finally feels better. His energy replenished, consciousness slightly recovered. The thunder woke me. Otherwise, I would have slept forever until death. Getting my bearings, sorting out the situation takes considerable mental effort, causing a splitting headache. Time has passed, who knows how long. Before sleeping, Banbo specifically hunted 3 longhorn beetle larvae. Now they've rotted and molded, completely inedible. Based on the temperature, Banbo roughly confirms. His 19th molting sleep lasted over a month, going straight from winter to summer. Without any technological assistance, genetic evolution becomes extremely perilous. Each molting is a life or death trial. If not for the rumbling thunder waking him, he would surely have drowned in summer rains. This molting brought his body size to about 15 centimeters. He also gained many new Crimson Roach Clan genetic memories. Banbo reflects carefully. They fall into 2 categories: cultivation and survival. With Banbo's former human knowledge and insight, he still can't determine whether Crimson Roach growth qualifies as cultivation. It's an evolutionary growth method he's never heard of. When ordinary roaches transform into force beings, a new organ grows inside them called the life seed pouch. By nurturing an ordinary plant seed within within the life seed pouch. That ordinary seed transforms into a force plant seed, called a life seed. The force plants cultivated by Crimson Warrior's bamboo saw are life seeds, not naturally occurring but nurtured by the life seed pouch. This awakened genetic memory resolves many previous puzzles. Life seeds absorb force, using part for their own growth, and feeding the rest back to their cultivator. That's why the Crimson Warrior's bamboo saw never needed to train. In reality, they're constantly absorbing force. Among the genetic memories, survival knowledge is even more complex, most of it vague. For instance, the grass at Banbo's burrow entrance is called nettletail grass. In late summer and early autumn, it produces seeds called nettle grass seeds. Beside Banbo is a colony of ant neighbors called big-headed harvester ants. They love nettle grass seeds and are among the agricultural insects. In spring, they plant seeds near their nest and even know to remove weeds and fertilize. When nettle grass seeds ripen, they harvest, dry, cure, and store them. According to genetic memory, ants are neither tasty nor easy to mess with. The big-headed harvester ant's nest was also affected by the rainstorm. They're moving their stored nettle grass seeds out to dry. Banbo decides to be a thief. He swallows a nettle grass seed he's taken a liking to, takes flight, circles around, and finally sneaks back to his burrow. The big-headed ants furiously wave their antennae. Hundreds of companions charge out with mandibles open, but ultimately don't dare approach Banbo's dwelling. They look fierce, but actually these little guys are quite cute. Today, Banbo clearly feels his mind clearer than ever before. Complex thinking no longer causes that overload after effect. Environmental perception has risen a level, viewing the world through compound eyes. Colors are more vivid, images sharper. Only now is he a true force being. And with this comes the discovery of the roach body's flaw. Unexpectedly terrible. There are no meridians like humans have for channeling force. The universe has many life forms that are extremely powerful without cultivation. I've been misled by human thinking. Are this planet's roaches really weak? It's too early to judge. Theoretically, the ability to use cosmic force to modify genes means infinite evolutionary potential. The so-called weakness is simply not finding the right evolutionary path, but Roach's starting point is truly too low, absolute zero, bottom of the food chain. My priority now is to grow stronger. I can't constantly be on edge, carefully watching every step, afraid of being hunted by larger creatures. Banbo forcibly consoles himself and feels somewhat better. After evolution, his front limbs are more developed, each of the 3 tips gaining an extra segment, becoming slender, flexible, and sharp as blades. The membranous wings structure has changed slightly, resembling hymenopteran bees, with qualitatively enhanced flight capability. Banbo discovers his will influences evolution direction. Having a concept before evolution, he finds post-evolution changes actually trend toward that concept. Genetic memory shows that all roach warrior growth on this planet has 6 stages. Banbo is now a level 1 junior warrior. Genetic memory instructs that junior warriors should grow rapidly under clan elder protection, only leaving to choose territory and live independently after becoming an ultimate warrior. Bando's elder was that crimson warrior who, unfortunately, mysteriously died. Junior warriors can only hunt small insects for food, still at the bottom of the food chain. Banbo is currently at peak development stage with tremendous food requirements. Just after finishing the carrion he brought back, hunger pangs return. Just as Banbo thinks about going out to find food, a huge green insect perches on a nettle grass leaf, leisurely munching tender grass blades. According to genetic memory, this insect is a swordhorn locust nymph with no combat ability, though its escape skills are first-rate. Banbo surveys the surroundings, confirms no other powerful predators, and silently approaches. In the next moment, Banbo calculates the angle, suddenly launches from the ground, loses balance, spreads his wings, and in an instant hits the target. His left front claw pierces the swordhorn locust nymph's back armor, breaking through the shell, gripping it tight. His right front limb stabs toward the compound eye. The commotion is loud. About 10 nearby swordhorn locust nymphs are startled, hopping and leaping in panic, and so life settles into a routine. Banbo goes out at dawn and noon each day. Catching 2 nymphs twice is enough to eat. Leftover hind leg meat gets dried for storage. The rest goes to his ant neighbors. Soon, a month passes. I undergo my second molting, becoming a level 2 junior warrior. Body length reaches 18, strength increases a bit, but the change isn't dramatic. 7 more such evolutionary advancements remain. Only upon reaching ultimate warrior will there be a second qualitative leap. Checking at the burrow entrance, it's noon. Heat waves rolling, air shimmering. Most animals can't tolerate this weather and stay hidden. Only the industrious big-headed harvester ants busy themselves under the blazing sun. Thanks to Banbo and several small flower snakes heavily hunting swordhorn locust nymphs eating nettle grass shoots, the ants enjoy a bumper harvest this year. My first life seed has finished incubating. Should I plant it? Never mind, wrong season. It's a force seed after all. It'd be a shame if it died from heat. But what seed should I choose for the next life seed? Banbo begins deliberating. He goes out to hunt 2 strong-legged nymphs, crouches at the entrance, eating while pondering. By the stream grow over a dozen mulberry trees, specifically white jade mulberry. Mulberries are delicious, and mulberry seeds are small enough to fit in the life seed pouch. But mulberry seeds take at least 3 years after planting to mature and fruit. In the nearby forest stands a rare sunlit evergreen tree. It also has the slow growth problem. Red raspberries are the best choice, but the fruits only ripen in late autumn. When roach warriors nurture life seeds in their life seed pouches, the knowledge involved is quite complex. Every life seed choice affects future evolutionary growth. Banbo sets out, taking advantage of the safe high noon heat to go to the stream. Making several trips, he picks over a dozen mulberries and drops them at the big-headed harvester ants' nest entrance. These big-headed ants aren't picky at all and swarm over them. They quickly devour the mulberry flesh, collect the seeds inside, and lay them in the sun to dry. Watching over the nettle grass field, life is relaxed and pleasant. Another sunny day. The dew quickly dries. The big-headed harvester ants busily move seeds out to dry. As humidity slightly decreases, half a morning's more sun will dry them completely. Banbo emerges on schedule, stands on a distant grass blade observing, carefully comparing. He plans to select 3 each of the best quality white jade mulberry and sunlit fruit seeds for his storage chamber. His attention is drawn to a gleaming golden seed. By shape, it's a nettle grass seed. Ordinary ones are tan when dried. This is definitely a mutated nettle grass seed, a force plant seed. Is it my luck, or is this planet so force-rich that plant mutations are more common? In his excitement, a vague genetic memory surfaces in his soul with a term, God-granted seed. Genetic memory records 2 cultivation methods for God-granted seeds. The first is direct planting. The resulting force plant produces seeds or fruits that grant uncertain special abilities when consumed. The second is nurturing with the life seed pouch, which has a chance of infusing racial abilities into the God-granted seed, creating an extremely high-quality life seed. The drawback is consuming massive cosmic force and delaying personal evolution. Banbo hesitates 2 seconds, then takes flight, dive bombs down, and swallows the God-granted seed in one gulp, activating his life seed pouch to envelope it. The action immediately enrages the seed-guarding big-headed harvester ants, who look ready to fight to the death. Not wanting trouble, Banbo hastily selects a few tree seeds and flies off. Stingy creatures, I picked those fruits for you yesterday. Banbo stands at his entrance, waving his antennae, releasing threatening pheromones. The big-headed harvester ant soldiers coming to cause trouble immediately hesitate, not daring to advance. Both sides stand off for a moment. Then the ant colony retreats. They only hold grudges, never gratitude. Can't be called intelligent life, not even low-level intelligence. Banbo continues observing all day and discovers nettle grass shoots aren't fazed by intense sun exposure. On the contrary, they grow vigorously under ample sunlight. After careful thought, he concludes, nettle grass doesn't fear heat. Mature root systems buried in the soil can provide shoots with sufficient water for healthy growth. In that case, he can consider planting his first life seed. 2 days after planting, a tender new sprout breaks through the soil. A very weak yet wonderful sensation of connection and shared fate forms between them. Banbo brings stones, arranging a fence around the life seed seedling to guard it around the clock against herbivorous insects like swordhorn locust nymphs. Luckily, another rainstorm comes. With abundant rain for irrigation, the sprout successfully develops 3 leaves. According to the jungle's summer precipitation patterns, a several-day drought period is coming. Surface soil moisture will quickly be dried by the scorching sun. Banbo prepares in advance, finding a hollow plant stem to collect dew from leaves every dawn for watering. As the grass plant grows, that wonderful sense of connection gradually becomes clearer. After a thunderstorm, Banbo carefully excavates it and transplants it to his burrow entrance. The transplant succeeds. The plant grows even more vigorously, faster than second crop ordinary nettle grass with mature root systems. The leaves differ slightly from ordinary nettle grass. Veins are purple-black, thicker and tougher. Time flows on. After a month, Banbo again shows signs of molting, becoming drowsy. Terrible drought season. Without watering, the immature nettle grass life seed might die from the heat, and those detestable swordhorn locust nymphs, if not hunted promptly, they'll devour the life seed completely. Banbo firmly believes that surviving the drought and outlasting those hungry swordhorn locust nymphs will improve the situation. Drowsiness is like a curse, continuously intensifying. Banbo stubbornly resists his body's growth cycle with sheer willpower. 20 days without rain. This isn't just dry season, but a full drought disaster. Many lush, tall jungle trees' canopies begin yellowing. Grasses along the stream all wither. Ponds dry up. The small flower snake that had settled nearby is gone, possibly died from heat, or perhaps migrated elsewhere to escape the disaster. Banbo feels some regret for rashly planting the nettlegrass life seed. Now unable to find water for irrigation, even the life seed's mature leaves begin yellowing, half-withered new leaves ceasing growth. Banbo has no other options. He can only laboriously haul many branches to build a simple shade shelter blocking the scorching sun. Whether it survives depends on fate. Banbo can hold on no longer. He burrows deep into his nest and falls into sleep. In slumber, massive genetic information about God-granted seeds awakens, imprinting on his soul memory. Life seeds nurtured from God-granted seeds differ greatly from those nurtured from ordinary seeds. Their growth requires absorbing massive amounts of force, so they must be planted in force-rich locations. The best method is burying force stones underground to help them grow vigorously. Junior warriors must not choose God-granted seeds as life seeds, because evolutionary sleep is crucial both for personal growth and life seed nurturing. God-granted seeds consume enormous force, causing delays. Such vital knowledge, why didn't it awaken earlier? Waking groggily, consciousness fuzzy, body weak. Weaker than the first evolutionary transformation, he's circled death's edge again. Fortunately, he's survived again. Long-missed humid air. Banbo first realizes that during his sleep, the drought has passed. Eating a few leaves lining the nest, resting briefly to slightly recover strength, he climbs upward into the dry storage chamber. Good. After 2 failures, the 3rd attempt succeeded. The storage chamber carved inside the black boulder wasn't affected by moisture. The dried meat is well preserved. Now a level 3 junior warrior, his body shows subtle changes again, gradually approaching the combat optimal form he envisioned. He spits out a purple gold seed glowing faintly violet in the darkness. This is the newly nurtured God-granted seed, his 2nd life seed. This molting sleep lasted about a month, going straight from midsummer to early autumn. At the burrow entrance, a 3-meter-tall green grass plant sways gently in the wind and rain, especially the pale purple flower spike at the top, radiating weak purple light in the dim. The nettlegrass life seed, not only did it survive the drought, it grew to an unimaginable height and has already flowered. As he stares dazed, a gentle force floods into Banbo's body. The nettlegrass life seed has accumulated too much force and needs to release it, roughly transferring it to Banbo. Banbo's current absorption capacity is limited. His shell radiates pale purple light as this force enters. Only a small portion is absorbed by cells, most dissipates back to nature. Now, my autonomous force absorption rate just suffices for personal growth. As expected, advancing to level 4 requires a life seed. For assistance, on the mountain, that Crimson Warrior's dozen or so tree saplings remain, along with 1 raspberry bush that's begun fruiting. The raspberries should ripen in about a month. Not too late to harvest them then. Now he can nurture a 3rd life seed, white jade mulberry and sunlit fruit. Banbo carefully deliberates and decides to prioritize sunlit fruit. Daily hunting doesn't take much time. Most of the time, he lounges idly at the burrow entrance, watching over the nettlegrass. Life seed, digesting food, absorbing cosmic force, sensing his own growth. Banbo still isn't accustomed to this passive growth mechanism beyond his will's control. Searching his entire body, the roach form truly has no meridians. After much agonizing thought, Banbo finally has an epiphany one day. He's been fixated on lacking meridians, ignoring the essential purpose of meridians. Human meridians store and channel, while roach blood can perfectly contain and release cosmic force, essentially possessing the same storage and channeling abilities as meridians. The difference is that roach blood circulates automatically throughout the body uncontrolled, and the stored force releases naturally without control. Banbo's thinking shifts. A door opens before him. Controlling blood flow is equivalent to meridian cultivation. Humans certainly can't control their blood flow, but roaches might. Humans have only 1 heart, while roaches have 3 large hearts in chest and abdomen, and throughout the body's vessels, especially at ganglion junctions, many small hearts are distributed. Hearts large and small work together, pumping blood flow. Banbo's idea is simple. Countless blood vessels of all sizes exist inside the body. Though seemingly chaotic, they follow clear patterns. If he can control all hearts beating and stopping, he can guide blood flow through the body, which is tantamount to guiding force circulation and cultivation. Implementation is extremely difficult. Whether heart speed is regulated by bodily conditions and hormonal stimulation, not controlled by will. Having found the direction, what follows is a massive exploration project, racking his brain to perform all kinds of movements while sensing his own heart rhythm changes. Banbo stimulates muscles and blood vessels through various vigorous movements, simultaneously using mental power to sense changes, gradually discovering his tiny body actually contains. There exist many hidden blood vessels and hearts. These hidden vessels possess excellent elasticity, normally contracting into tiny fibers that pose no obstruction to muscle fiber movement. The complexity of muscle, blood vessel, and skeletal structures surpasses imagination, far exceeding that of human bodies. Banbo originally thought he could easily create corresponding cultivation methods, but discovered things were far more complicated than imagined. Creating techniques is a complex process of exploration and deduction. To put it figuratively, what he thought was base 3 calculation became base 6 with the discovery of hidden vessels and hearts. In human society, computer programs could save enormous time. The problem is, he's on a primitive planet with zero technology, completely alone, without even paper or pen. Banbo begins excavating a dedicated research chamber deep within the boulder, polishing the top surface smooth and recording information in the most primitive way, carving into stone. 9 roach diagrams, front view, back view, and side cross-sections, meticulously depicting his own carapace, nodules, muscles, and most critically, blood vessel and heart distribution. Even so, the surface fills densely with text, with less critical parts marked by lines leading to marginal notes. Named Structural Atlas, this work takes Banbo over half a month. Intense physical activity and mental overexertion create massive consumption, demanding more food. Unfortunately, an ember serpent appears from somewhere and makes its home by the stream. Genetic memory shows that adult ember serpents are colossal beasts dominating the jungle, apex predators of the food chain, requiring senior warriors of the clan to hunt them. This is a juvenile ember serpent, about 5 meters long, already an insurmountable behemoth for Banbo. Banbo can only watch helplessly as his intended prey gets hunted, uncertain whether the serpent might target him, not even daring to hunt at night. He thinks he can just endure it, but the creature begins expanding its territory, preying on moles, squirrels, rabbits, birds, and other small animals near the forest. The ember serpent also notices the nettletail grass life seed, attracted by the force aura the plant emits, and at some point moves its sunbathing spot from atop the black boulder to Banbo's nest entrance. Every morning it slithers over without fail, coiling beside the life seed, not leaving until noon. Banbo's patience runs out. Not only is his entrance blocked daily, but the serpent covets the life seed he's cultivated so painstakingly. Banbo can't think of any way to kill one. In his awakened genetic memory, many venomous creatures are recorded, but unfortunately Banbo finds none nearby. He does find a flat little insect called the stink beetle, aptly named with brilliantly colorful carapace. In the jungle, brilliant coloration usually means deadly toxicity, a warning to predators. Insect sensory organs don't reject this gas, feeling nothing. But to the olfactory organs of snakes, rodents, and birds, it's an unbearably foul and deadly stench. They give stink beetles wide berths, desperate to avoid them. Banbo decides to try using stink beetle odor to drive away the ember serpent. The next day, he catches a stink beetle, squeezing its toxin in a circle around the life seed. The flickering serpent tongue sharply detects the strange smell. It hesitates, circles for a long while, but ultimately doesn't approach the life seed. Banbo observes stealthily, confirms the method works, secretly delighted, and decides to expand the perimeter. In one afternoon, Banbo hunts nearly 100 stink beetles in one go, covering the area around the black boulder and nettle field with stones soaked in stink beetle stench. The lethal odor spreads freely through the air. At dawn the next day, the ember serpent's form appears in the distance, slithering around seeking an opening, but the stench overwhelms it, finally coiling far away beneath a golden rain tree, head drooping, mouth shut tight, looking utterly dispirited. A python's forked tongue is its most important sensory organ, extremely sensitive to scents. The ember serpent cannot tolerate this smell, yet instinctively cannot abandon the grass seeds, spending the first few days unwillingly prowling the perimeter, seeking an opening, attempting to approach. After several fruitless days, it finally gives up. With the python driven away, Banbo begins cultivating, attempting to sense force. While carving records in a second chamber, he quickly fills it, a full 53 diagrams, each accompanied by concise text named Foundational Movement Atlas. Every day keeps him frantically busy, yet dwelling alone, this insect feels no loneliness. Time passes imperceptibly in busyness, and the evolutionary state appears again, coming even faster this time. After just 2 days of drowsiness, he can't hold out and falls into deep sleep. Robust birds and beasts that devour force fruit have high chances of evolving into fighters, often possessing combat power far exceeding insect fighters. If beast fighters are discovered in one's territory, they must be eliminated immediately, or they'll brew serious disaster. During life seed fruit ripening season, birds and beasts may come to steal. Show no mercy, or they'll plunder your fruit and become threats to the clan's dominance. Knowledge inscribed in genes gets triggered during evolutionary transformation. Fragmented, chaotic, vague. This awakening leaves him in better condition than ever before, with no obvious weakness. After eating and replenishing, he quickly becomes energetic, venturing out to check. It's already morning. The Ember Serpent refuses to give up its schemes, coiling at the entrance again, blocking the exit, peering about cautiously. The life seed's nettle grass seeds remain pale purple, not yet mature. At noon, the Ember Serpent slithers away. Banbo hunts stink beetles on a large scale, using their stink glands to remake and reinforce the defensive perimeter. The life seed's grass seeds shift at night from pale purple to purple-black glow, a sign the seeds are about to ripen. The Ember Serpent can obviously judge the seed's imminent condition, repeatedly prowling nearby, ready to pounce. When the nettle grass seeds ripen, the stink beetle stench barrier will fail, and it will certainly rush over recklessly to steal them. Banbo agonizes over this. Had he known this tribulation awaited, he wouldn't have hastily planted the nettle life seed. After much deliberation, he devises 3 solutions. First, harvest the seeds before full maturity. Second, wait for the nettle seeds to ripen and watch the Ember Serpent devour them. An immature Ember Serpent consuming force fruit will most likely die suddenly, or less likely, fall into deep sleep and evolve into a force being. Third, Banbo bravely steps up to fight the Ember Serpent, especially since recent training shows results, giving him some chance of winning, though Banbo rules this out first. He agonizes between the first and second methods for several days, finally deciding on the second. Life seeds aren't limited to one. No need to rush. This year's harvest destroyed. Next year brings more life seeds to plant. The Ember Serpent keeps growing stronger. It must be eliminated early for future peace. The day after settling on this strategy, the lowest seed on the spike stops glowing at night, marking complete maturity. The Ember Serpent unceremoniously coils at Banbo's entrance, settling in for the long haul, not rushing to eat the mature seeds. A day later, 3 more ripen, yet the serpent still won't bite. Clearly it's waiting for all seeds to mature before swallowing them whole. Just as genetic memory describes, Ember Serpents are insatiably greedy beasts. The more it eats, the worse it dies. Banbo curses viciously. Suddenly, in the night, a gray-black form suddenly bursts forth, attacking the Ember Serpent without warning. The abrupt battle catches even the secretly watching Banbo off guard. A shadow hunter. From genetic memory, Banbo identifies the sudden attacker. The battle tilts completely to one side. The small-bodied shadow hunter arches its back, tail erect, showing fierce intent. Moving lightning fast, its claws continuously leaving bloody scratches on the Ember Serpent. The Ember Serpent coils in a circle, head tucked in, taking hits like a sandbag. Not that it doesn't want to fight back. The opponent's too fast, impossible to target. The shadow hunter completes its full combo, apparently somewhat tired, retreating to a safe position, vigilantly watching the thoroughly scratched Ember Serpent. The Ember Serpent keeps its head tucked, motionless, showing no signs of life. The shadow hunter dares not relax one bit, resting briefly, then begins circling the Ember Serpent, apparently searching for fatal weak points. The shadow hunter is an experienced predator, knowing the tricks, so it suddenly stops and changes tactics, slowly circling the Ember Serpent. After more than 10 circles, seeing the opponent never shows its head, it suddenly pounces forward, biting the exposed tail. The coiled Ember Serpent suddenly thrusts out its head, its entire body snapping straight like a released arrow, jaws gaping toward the shadow hunter. The shadow hunter's taut body springs explosively, leaping high, twisting aside to dodge the lethal strike, simultaneously swiping its claws, attempting to strike the serpent's vital 7-inch neck point. Unfortunately, it's a fraction too slow, failing to connect. This shadow hunter's strike uses full force, leaving 3 deep bleeding gashes on the python's belly. Banbo watches in amazement, so natural creature's primal combat can be this spectacular. The Ember Serpent quickly coils its body, assuming a defensive posture. The shadow hunter continues circling the Ember Serpent, in no rush to strike, wearing down its patience. The Ember Serpent stays coiled tight, refusing to expose its head. Banbo notices that blood from the Ember Serpent's torn scales quickly dries. Powerful healing, apparently a standard ability of all cold-blooded creatures. The shadow hunter doesn't have this. After circling over 10 times, it can't resist provoking again. Using the same trick, it suddenly lunges forward, biting at the Ember Serpent's exposed tail. This time, the Ember Serpent is prepared. The instant its tail is bitten, it yanks back hard, like fishing, dragging the shadow hunter toward itself. Simultaneously, Ceremoniously, it raises its head high, jaws gaping wide, poised, frozen, but doesn't attack immediately. The shadow hunter, pulled off balance, leaps in panic. At the instant of leaping into the air, the ember serpent's raised head locks onto it, then strikes like lightning, clamping onto the shadow hunter, its body rapidly constricting in a crushing coil. Hiding at his nest entrance, watching, Banbo can faintly hear the crack of bones crushed by immense force. The battle ends. The ember serpent struggles somewhat to swallow the shadow hunter. Its belly swelling, a medium-sized mammal not only recovers combat injuries depletion, but provides ample growth nutrients. However, victory in the perilous battle makes it lose vigilance, the bulging belly preventing its body from coiling. It can only lie stretched out flat, movements becoming sluggish. Seeing this scene, Banbo's heart blooms with joy. The mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. Banbo circles widely around the black boulder, coming up behind the ember serpent, silently approaching, then suddenly takes flight, landing on the 3-inch vital neck point. All 6 legs exerting force, 4 hind legs gripping firmly, 2 sharp-tipped forelegs slashing horizontally. The ember serpent writhes in pain, thrashing and rolling violently, but the swollen belly severely hampers its movements. The ember serpent rapidly weakens, this time not from exhausting struggle, but fatal weakness from excessive blood loss. Unwilling to die, it begins slithering toward its pond refuge. Its tail instinctively swings side to side, jaws gaping 180 degrees, seemingly unwilling to let the ambusher survive. Crouching cautiously at a distance, waiting a long time, confirming it's thoroughly dead, only then does he approach to process the python. Food for the foreseeable future is secured. After reinforcing the defensive perimeter, Banbo harvests the 4 mature nettle seeds the life seed produced, storing them temporarily in his nest. The bloody scent attracts 2 nearby colonies of giant-jawed harvester ants, who abandon their field work harvesting nettle seeds, forming long lines, endlessly, tirelessly cutting and hauling meat. Giant-jawed harvester ants also love meat. The protein accelerates the queen's egg-laying, speeds larval growth in the colony, and newborn workers become stronger. Not until noon does Banbo rest. Well-fed and satisfied, he takes out a grass seed to test, experiencing the force effect of consuming it. It indeed enhances cellular activity, though quite different from the raspberry fruit he tried before. Raspberry fruit enhances cellular vitality. Nettlegrass seeds also have this effect, but additionally boost cellular proliferation rate. Banbo needs about half a day to digest 1 grass seed, during which he must eat repeatedly to supplement nutrition and energy. He can consume 2 grass seeds daily. More and his body can't handle it, effects diminish, and it damages cells. The next day, the life seed suddenly produces 11 ripe nettle seeds. Judging by the trend, all seeds will ripen in another 2 days. Banbo can't eat this many in a short time, so imitating the giant-jawed harvester ants, each morning when the sun dries the dew, he moves the harvested ripe seeds out to sun-dry and sunny spots. Then at dusk, carries them back into the nest for storage. The stink beetle odor must be working, smoothly reaching the point where all nettle seeds mature, are harvested and dried. The giant-jawed harvester ants also successfully reduce the ember serpent and shadow hunter to 2 skeletons, hauling away all edible meat. During this time, no large predators disturb them. There's even more good fortune. The raspberry fruit on the mountains has ripened. The territory of that Crimson Roach clan warrior who once sheltered Banbo lies far away, the journey fraught with danger. A round trip isn't easy. Banbo plans to stay on the mountain temporarily, consuming all the raspberry fruit on site before returning. After the nettle life seeds, grass seeds ripen and are harvested, the leaves begin yellowing. Spring sprouts, summer flourishes, autumn harvests, winter dies. This is the nettlegrass's natural cycle. The nettle life seed absorbs force to grow, genes evolving, becoming far stronger than ordinary nettlegrass. One can only hope its roots can endure the harsh winter, sprouting and growing again next spring. When he left the mountains, just an ordinary roach, now he's a fourth-instar junior warrior. Banbo feels an inexplicable sense of triumphant return. At dawn, the rolling mountain range appears in view, and problems follow. Over half a year has passed. He can't quite remember which peak it was. The roach population in the mountains remains huge, with no sign of expected snakes, rodents, or birds. Banbo immediately thinks of 2 possibilities. Another powerful Crimson Roach clan warrior has arrived near the mountains, or the original Crimson Roach clan warrior is still alive. Its previous sudden disappearance likely meant hiding somewhere safe to sleep and evolve. The thought barely forms when he faintly senses psychic force sweeping over him. Immediately after, from a distant peak, an enormous roach takes flight, like a crimson fireball hurtling over at tremendous speed, rivaling any bird he's seen in the jungle. The massive form lands right in front of Banbo, and immediately he's snatched up by a pair of claws. The giant roach pinches Banbo with its four-limb tips, holding him up high, examining him from every angle. "I remember you, that little black thing hiding under rocks." Banbo desperately vibrates his wings, making angry sounds, antennae releasing furious scent signals, determining that this massive roach is indeed the Crimson Roach Clan warrior who once sheltered him. "It really didn't die. I knew from the start you had the best chance of becoming a clan warrior. Ha ha, just as I thought." The Crimson Roach warrior is somewhat overexcited, completely ignoring Banbo's anger, examining him thoroughly for a while before setting him down, saying with some regret, "How did you grow even blacker? So ugly." Banbo adjusts his wings, not knowing how to respond. He came to scavenge, but the other didn't die, meaning the life seeds on the mountain have an owner. That plan's fallen through. From genetic memory's perspective, he now has clan elders, powerful warriors backing him. "I'm called Flame Stripes. Little one, what's your name?" "I forgot, you're still young, can't use psychic communication yet." This Crimson Roach warrior actually has a name. Banbo remembers Flame Stripes is a rare plant, considered especially beautiful by Crimson Roach Clan aesthetic standards. "I'm called Banbo." Banbo laboriously transmits the message using psychic force. Flame Stripes startles with a jolt, wings trembling as he backs up 2 steps, staring at Banbo for a long moment, asking dazedly, "How many molts have you gone through? How did you learn psychic communication?" Flame Stripes becomes wary again, asking, Who taught you?" For the still weak Banbo, using psychic force to transmit messages consumes tremendous energy. Just transmitting those few words makes his brain spin. Banbo rests a long while recovering from the dizziness, then points a foreclaw at his head. Genetic memory? This too! Flame Stripes also scratches his head with a foreclaw, muttering, "The more favored by nature's true god, the more knowledge awakens." Flame Stripes freezes, then has a revelation, yet can't suppress his delight, continuing to ask, "Why did you leave the peak?" Roach scent signal communication is too monotonous and obscure, unable to form complete sentences. Banbo refuses to answer such a complex question. Flame Stripes immediately follows up, "You survived alone all this time?" Banbo waves his antennae in simple reply. "Yes." Flame Stripes asks again, "Where? How did I never see you?" Banbo extends a forelimb, pointing down at the vast jungle below. Flame Stripes exclaims, "The jungle's so dangerous. Your survival is a miracle. Why didn't you stay on the mountain?" Banbo is speechless. At the time, the mountain was more dangerous. Seeing Banbo won't answer, Flame Stripes sighs. "Good thing you remembered the way home and came back." Banbo feels somewhat uncomfortable, inexplicably thinking of his missing roach mother. Barring any miracle, his roach mother certainly didn't survive last winter. Flame Stripes is a chatterbox. Before Banbo can respond, he continues questioning. "What's Banbo? My genetic memory has no such plant." What a strange name. Familiar peaks, familiar plants, and those rocks where he once hid. After nearly a year's growth, Flame Stripes' life seed saplings have grown much taller, and not having considered growth space when planting, he's moved several. This practice damages the life seed plants considerably. The raspberry thicket has nearly doubled in size, branches and leaves lush and dense, taking shape, now harvest season, laden with nearly ripe raspberry fruit. Flame Stripes lands before the raspberry thicket, carefully examining and selecting, plucking a ripe raspberry, carefully breaking off a single berry with his fingertip. "Banbo, are you hungry?" "Eat." After speaking, he swallows the large raspberry fruit himself. Banbo doesn't hesitate, pinching up that berry and swallowing it. Sweet and fragrant, warm, gentle force flows through his blood, his whole body feeling pleasantly warm and comfortable. Flame Stripes carefully watches Banbo's reaction, seeing that swallowing a whole berry causes no obvious discomfort, asking, "How many molts have you experienced since becoming a clan warrior?" Banbo thinks, then draws 3 vertical lines on the ground with a forelimb. Flame Stripes asks, "3 times? That makes you a fourth-instar junior warrior. Over half a year, right?" Rather slow. Normally, junior warriors complete 1 molt every month or so. Banbo's growth rate has been severely slowed by nurturing the god-granted seed, disasters, and guarding the nettle life seed. Flame Stripes doesn't know the reasons, assuming he barely survived in the wild, saying consolingly, "Surviving alone in the dangerous jungle, this growth rate isn't slow. Don't worry, I'll protect you from now on. You'll quickly grow into a senior warrior." Banbo is touched by the kindness and care from his clanmate, transmitting grateful emotions. Flame Stripes grows even more pleased, excitedly waving antennae and flapping wings. Banbo, you were born in my territory. You're my junior. Caring for you is my duty. Oh my, you've molted 3 times already. Life seeds. Have you nurtured life seeds? Concern shows in Flamestripes' emotions. Yes, Banbo gives an affirmative reply, and Flamestripes immediately relaxes, asking, what plants did you choose to nurture life seeds? Banbo hesitates briefly, then transmits via psychic force, nettlegrass. Nettlegrass. Flamestripes ponders a moment, then suddenly becomes anxious, exclaiming, Nettlegrass? Why nettlegrass? Nettlegrass is bad, completely bad. Winter's coming, it'll die. Please don't tell me you nurtured 3 nettlegrass life seeds. Flamestripes treats Banbo completely as an ignorant child. Banbo is speechless for a long while, scratching 2 vertical lines on the ground with his claw. Flamestripes asks, 2 nettlegrass life seeds? Banbo nods his antennae. Choosing nettlegrass for the first life seed was helpless, as he couldn't find other suitable seeds then. The second life seed isn't ordinary nettlegrass seed, but an extremely rare God-granted seed. Flamestripes asks, what plant did you choose for the third life seed? After resting a long while, Banbo answers using psychic force, sunlit fruit. Flamestripes relaxes slightly. Sunlit fruit is pretty good. Seems you understand how to choose life seeds, right? Banbo nods his antennae, and Flamestripes suddenly realizes, because of the season, you became a warrior in spring, couldn't find suitable seeds, so you chose nettlegrass as a life seed? Banbo nods his antennae, yes. Flamestripes asks, puzzled, nettlegrass seeds. Where did you get those? Banbo waves his antennae, transmitting 2 messages in succession. Ants. Stole. Those big-headed ants? Don't provoke ants. Flamestripes grasps the general situation, consoling. Be careful from now on. Always choose the best plant seeds to nurture life seeds, understand? Banbo nods his antennae. Understand. Flamestripes waves his antennae. Come, I'll show you something good. Before the cave is a clearing, the originally growing plants cleared completely away, cut dead tree branches piled in a circle, forming a simple protective fence. Inside grows a tree sapling only about 3 meters tall. Banbo, can you identify this plant? Flamestripes says proudly. The bragging intent couldn't be more obvious. Banbo uncooperatively shakes his antennae directly. Don't recognize it. Flamestripes notices Banbo shows little interest in his proudest life seed plant, somewhat disappointed. This is a gift Iron Blade Lord gave me last year. It's a crimson spike tree. Iron Blade Lord? Cloud cypress, raspberry, thornberry, golden rain tree, eucalyptus, elm, and so on are common plants. Iron Blade tree and crimson spike tree are rare plants, perhaps even endangered species. According to development prospects after nurturing into life seeds, plants can be divided into 4 tiers: low, medium, high, and precious. Nettlegrass, flamestripes, and other herbaceous plants belong to low development prospects. Raspberry, thornberry, white jade mulberry, sunlit fruit count as medium development prospects. Cloud cypress most common, and can count as high development prospects. Iron blade tree and crimson spike trees development prospects rank in the precious tier. Iron blade wood is harder than steel. Force fruit condensed by iron blade tree life seeds must be cooked before eating, naturally carrying a carapace hardness enhancement effect. This is its precious quality. Crimson spike wood is similar to iron blade wood. Branches harder than iron blade wood. Fruit condensed by crimson spike tree life seeds carries 2 effects, respectively carapace hardness enhancement and stamina increase. Banbo waves his antennae, using scent signals to transmit to Flamestripes more. Flamestripes is very satisfied with Banbo's reaction. Iron Blade Lord gave it to me. Just gave me 1 seed. Rare plant varieties are hard to find. Once found, that means seeds can be collected long-term, no longer rare. As long as that Iron Blade Lord isn't a fool, he'll stockpile large quantities of crimson spike tree seeds. Banbo waves his antennae, transmitting a shameless message. I want some too. Flamestripes patiently explains. Crimson spike tree seeds were obtained by Iron Blade Lord trading Iron Blade tree seeds with Crimson Spike Lord. 10 Iron Blade tree seeds for 1 Crimson Spike tree seed. Only got 10 total, very rare. Roach Clan Strength Division's Junior Warrior, Intermediate Warrior, Senior Warrior, representing not only genetic evolution height, but also titles symbolizing power and status. Banbo begins taking interest in these 2 existences, Iron Blade Lord and Crimson Spike Lord. Flamestripes becomes troubled. Originally just wanted to show off before a junior, establish his authority as an elder. Then I'll try asking Iron Blade Lord. Flamestripes raises his antennae, motionless and silent. Banbo vaguely senses energy radiating from his antennae, a familiar energy fluctuation. Electromagnetic waves? He's using electromagnetic waves to transmit messages? Roaches can evolve long-range wireless communication abilities? Banbo is secretly shocked. After sending the message, Flamestripe suddenly collapses weakly, resting a long while before standing again. Inexplicably overjoyed again, a new clan warrior has been born in my territory. Those old guys will surely be envious. Grey Jade and the Mountain Lord will surely be delighted. The scene shifts to the next day. Well-fed Banbo, the two insects begin their journey. Banbo, that peak ahead is Windchime's territory. He's 2 years older than me, has 2 cloud cypress life seeds that started bearing fruit this year. Windchime's quite dumb. He actually chose a Windchime seed as a life seed. Windchime should like you. Before the nest is an open clearing, a lone plant sapling growing. Also a crimson spike tree sapling. One can guess. Iron Blade Lord probably distributed the 10 crimson spike tree seeds he traded back to other clan warriors on the mountains. Banbo can't help but worry. If there really are only 10 crimson spike tree seeds, this trip might be for nothing. Just thinking this, a roach slowly emerges from the nest, eyeing Flamestripes, then focusing attention on Banbo. Flamestripes, you're sure it was born in your territory. How is it black? So ugly. Windchime is quite rude, not tactful at all. It was indeed born in my territory. I noticed this little one last winter. It's different, very clever. Oh right, it has a name, called Banbo. Banbo? Windchime thinks. The name you gave it, ugly. Flamestripes becomes displeased it named itself. Windchime says, then it was indeed born in your territory, tasteless like you. Flamestripes is choke speechless. If there's nothing, you can leave. Windchime begins issuing an eviction order. Flamestripes says, I'm taking Banbo to meet Iron Blade Lord, bringing it by the way to meet you, an elder. Windchime frowns. Didn't we just meet? You can leave now. Flamestripes glares at Windchime. You should give it a gift. I knew you brought it to trick me out of cloud cypress seeds. Windchime ducks into the nest, quickly emerging again, flicking a claw. A sun-dried brown cypress seed lands precisely before Banbo. Only one. Flamestripes is dissatisfied, emphasizing again, Windchime, this little one eats a lot, can swallow a whole raspberry fruit in one bite. Windchime vibrates his wings, making angry, threatening sounds. Banbo, let's go. Remember, Windchime is a miser. Flamestripes hurriedly flaps his wings. The two insects land on an open clearing in the mountains, catching a wild rabbit, placing it before Banbo, peeling open the cloud cypress seed coat. Inside are 5 plump cloud cypress seeds, containing rich force aura. Be careful. The longer the growth cycle of life seed fruit, the more powerful the force it contains. You're still young, might not be able to handle it. Flamestripes crouches nearby, verbally warning. Banbo knows cloud cypress seeds are hard to digest. First eating meat to supplement nutrition and energy, then carefully picking up a cloud cypress seed to nibble. The cloud cypress seed's medicinal effect comes swift and violent. After swallowing, force energy rampages unchecked through his body, stimulating his heart to pound violently, blood flowing faster. Banbo's 6 legs stiffen straight, wings trembling uncontrollably. After a long while he recovers, whole body exhausted, 6 legs weak, sprawled on the ground. Banbo, you're far worse than me. After my first cloud cypress seed, I could still walk. Flamestripes has personal experience, not worried about Banbo's condition, instead teasing and bragging. Don't rush. Eat slowly. After finishing, we'll go to Amethyst's territory. Did you notice that grape life seed sapling of mine? The seed was given by Amethyst. Amethyst is very hospitable, likes me visiting his territory. Amethyst is generous. Windchime is a miser. Many Crimson Roach clan warriors must dwell in this mountain range. Flamestripes surely knows them all, obviously planning to take Banbo visiting in succession, soliciting greeting gifts. No wonder genetic memory says newly born clan warriors under elders' protection can quickly grow into senior warriors. So roaches also have the fine tradition of elders giving gifts to juniors. Windchime was stingy, only giving 1 cloud cypress seed. Yet even 1 cloud cypress seed's force effect equals 3 raspberry fruits. Amethyst is generous. How many gifts will he give? Banbo, we should set out now to visit Iron Blade Lord, and I need to visit Amethyst on the way. He's our Iron Blade Mountain's best hope to become, after Iron Blade Lord, the second to ascend to Mountain Lord. Amethyst is wealthy and generous. He'll give you many gifts, understand? Just as Banbo expected. After finishing the cloud cypress seeds, Flamestripes leads him onward to visit the next clan elder. During several days of interaction, Banbo understands one thing. In Roach clans, occupying a mountain peak theoretically makes one a mountain lord. Banbo also gains deeper understanding of roach growth. Those who can ascend to mountain lord are extremely few. Roach growth depends too heavily on life seeds. Junior warriors in the clan with elders' care can easily become senior warriors within a year, gaining the ability to survive alone in the jungle. Crimson Roach clan's senior warriors' lifespans are only 40 to 50 years. Most senior warriors warriors due to poor life seed choices, poor self-management, slow growth rates, missing their vigorous youth, bodies aging, unable to continue evolving, remaining senior warriors for life. Amethyst's territory sits on an inconspicuous, slightly raised hill in the mountains, his nest excavated at the hillside. What surprises Banbo is there are a full 7 cloud cypress trees, each growing vigorously, height and scale far exceeding ordinary cloud cypress trees on the mountain, branches shimmering with reddish-brown halos, at a glance dazzlingly brilliant, quite spectacular. Amethyst's territory has 21 life seeds planted total. Not hard to deduce he's at least a fourth-instar senior warrior. All life seeds reasonably distributed, each growing vigorously, meaning his growth will be smooth and unobstructed. Flame Stripes, must say you're a lucky fellow. Is this the little warrior born in your territory? Black? Why black? Just as Flame Stripes described, Amethyst is hospitable. The rich force aura, vigorously fluctuating life force, truly brings Banbo considerable oppression. Flame Stripes, also a senior warrior, seems somewhat uncomfortable before Amethyst. I don't know why it's black either. It showed exceptional qualities from a very young age. Very young age? Yes. Before becoming a warrior, it could withstand severe cold, active in winter, loves sunbathing, energetic, likes crawling everywhere. Amethyst is quite surprised. Truly exceptional. Have you found other Black Clan members in your tribe? No. I think our Crimson Roach clan will spawn a whole new branch tribe in your territory. In Roach consciousness, they believe spawning new branches in the clan symbolizes tribal prosperity and strength. Banbo survived alone in the jungle for nearly a year. It's exceptional, favored by nature's true god. Amethyst is a good-natured soul, turning to enter his nest, soon emerging dragging a colorful, gourd-shaped silk pouch. Banbo, who's been obediently crouching beside Flame Stripes, stares wide-eyed. The pouch emanates force aura, probably counting as a simple force artifact. Amethyst tips the pouch, pouring out a small pile of cloud cypress seeds before Flame Stripes. Flame Stripes, advancing to senior warrior requires force food. This is my gift to you. Amethyst tips the pouch toward Banbo, cloud cypress seeds piling up before him. And you, little one, quickly become a senior warrior. Iron Blade Mountains needs more warriors for protection. Banbo politely thanks him. Compared to the calm, courteous Banbo, Flame Stripe seems somewhat beside himself, gleefully dancing about, antennae waving wildly, still somewhat unsatisfied, greedily eyeing Amethyst's pouch, not hiding his envy at all. Flame Stripes wasn't wrong. Amethyst is not only wealthy but lavish, giving Banbo a full 20 cloud cypress seeds. Amethyst watches Banbo with interest, chuckling. Polite and clever Banbo. Count again. Go on. Count clearly how many cloud cypress seeds these are, Banbo thinks, then replies via psychic force. 20. Banbo, Iron Blade Lord wants me to bring you to meet him. We should set out. Banbo nods his antennae. The earlier talk of visiting Iron Blade Lord was Flame Stripes bluffing Banbo. This visit is likely genuine. Having flown over just 10 or so peaks, Flame Stripes lands again. Banbo, this is Grey Jade's territory. I was born in Grey Jade's territory. Grey Jade is my elder. You were born in my territory. I'm your elder. So Grey Jade is your elder's elder. You should respect him, understand? The clearing before the nest entrance grows wild with weeds, giving an immediate sense of abandonment and desolation. On the mountain stand only 5 lonely life seeds, not growing very healthily. Sensing movement, a senior warrior about 400 millimeters long crawls out from the nest. Carapace color dull, movement slightly sluggish, every action exuding aged, declining breath. Flame Stripes, you finally deign to visit me. Grey Jade's psychic force also carries declining weakness. Roach perception is acute. Banbo also senses from him what seems like cold death's breath lingering. Flame Stripes awkwardly scratches his head. I've been too busy lately, busy searching for God-granted seeds. When I was young, I was also enthusiastic and passionate like you all. But facts prove nature's true God only favors a very fortunate few. Flame Stripes is confident. Then I'll definitely become one of those fortunate few. Grey Jade ends this exchange with laughter. Looking toward Banbo, little one, just visited Amethyst? Looks like quite a haul. Banbo carries a snakeskin pouch filled with many cloud cypress seeds. Grey Jade extends a forelimb pointing at his life seed plants. Little one, those are my cloud cypress life seeds. Fruit ripened long ago. Go pick them yourself. Best fill that little pouch of yours. Cloud cypress seeds don't drop immediately after ripening, but hang on trees trees enduring wind and sun, naturally drying before naturally falling. Banbo is delighted. An elder's elder is truly different, treating him completely as family, actually letting him pick himself, even more generous than Amethyst. Banbo's plan is to follow Flame Stripes, visiting all the Ironblade Mountain's elders one by one. Expectations not high, just fill the snakeskin pouch with various gifts. Will the goal be achieved already at Grey Jade's? Banbo doesn't stand on ceremony, immediately dragging the pouch toward the cloud cypress trees. Banbo, stop! Flame Stripes suddenly shouts to halt him. It's getting late. We can't keep Ironblade Lord waiting. Time to go. Banbo turns back, transmitting puzzled messages. Aren't you just bringing me freeloading? Banbo unwillingly leaves, carrying the snakeskin pouch. Before leaving, he doesn't forget to bid Grey Jade farewell via psychic force. Goodbye. Grey Jade is instantly overjoyed. Haha, clever little one, actually learned to use psychic communication. Flame Stripes, I'm proud of you both. Along the way, Flame Stripes is unusually silent. Silent for a long while, then suddenly speaks. With deep sadness, Banbo, did you sense it? Grey Jade has grown old. Banbo answers casually, inwardly pondering why Grey Jade has only 5 life seed plants. Something very unfortunate happened to Grey Jade when he was young. A forest wolf fighter invaded his territory, attempting to plunder his force food. Though Ironblade Lord arrived in time and killed the forest wolf fighter, unfortunately, Grey Jade's life seed plants were almost all destroyed. Losing life seeds, his strength forever stagnated at third-instar. Flame Stripe speaks with some choking. Later, Ironblade Lord told me Grey Jade's lifespan isn't long, relying entirely on force food produced by the remaining 5 life seeds to sustain life. If I eat his food, it accelerates his aging and death. Hearing the reason, Banbo also feels inexplicably distressed. Ironblade Lord was first to establish a tribe in the mountains, and being the mountain's most powerful existence, rightfully occupies the best peak, named Ironblade Peak. Flame Stripes just lands when a crimson little roach slightly larger than Banbo runs over, then curiously eyes Banbo's snakeskin pouch. Flame Stripes introduces Ink Mulberry. This is Banbo, like you, a warrior born this year. Ink Mulberry actually praises. Banbo, black carapace, beautiful. Haha, Ink Mulberry is clever. Flame Stripe says to Banbo, Banbo, this is Ink Mulberry. He's already a 7th-instar junior warrior. You need to work hard growing. After all, visiting someone else's territory. Banbo very politely transmits messages via psychic force. Ink Mulberry is immediately amazed. Wow, Banbo is amazing, even more amazing than me. So young yet learned psychic communication. He's really a brown-nosing roach. Banbo inwardly grumbles. The Mountain Lord has been waiting for you under the Ironblade trees for a long time. Ironblade Lord is a veteran elder who's lived a long time. His life seed count exceeds 30, and due to the peak's abundant force, each life seed has grown to massive scale far exceeding ordinary plants, connecting to form a lush forest. Standing before Ironblade Lord, even Flame Stripe seems uncomfortable, breathing becoming rapid. Banbo and Ink Mulberry stand at a distance, not daring to approach. Flame Stripes, is this the warrior born in your territory? The little one with black carapace? Flame Stripes nods. Yes. Ironblade Lord, it's called Banbo, possesses a god-granted seed. I heard as soon as I returned, a lucky little one favored by nature's true god. Every year I spend time searching the jungle for god-granted seeds, persisting for over 100 years, yet finding nothing. Flame Stripes' emotions become complex, somewhat proud, somewhat worried. Proud that Banbo was born in his territory, worried whether he can find a god-granted seed. Flame Stripes recounts the matter of Banbo's life seeds. It hopes to exchange for a crimson spike tree seed and an Iron Blade tree seed to compensate its loss. Ironblade Lord sighs. Iron Blade trees are under our control. It can have as many as it wants. The Crimson Spike tree seeds I traded from Crimson Spike Lord last time were already distributed to you all. Flame Stripes becomes somewhat flustered. Ironblade Lord, could you trade with Crimson Spike Lord again? Banbo is excellent. Ironblade Lord doesn't answer directly, turning his head to scrutinize Banbo. Black carapace, completely different from our Crimson Roach clan's carapace color. Flame Stripes, have you discovered what exceptional qualities it has? Flame Stripes thinks carefully. Banbo could use psychic communication at 4th-instar junior warrior. Ironblade Lord ponders. This is an ability of the Black-White Lotus Roach Tribe, but it doesn't carry the Black-White Lotus Roach Tribe's scent characteristics. Likely naturally evolved. Primitive civilizations lack genetic concepts. So-called natural evolution refers to genetic mutation. Observing the phenomenon but unable to understand the essential cause, they credit nature's true god. Flame Stripes, have you found similar species in your territory? Flame Stripes shakes his antennae. I checked carefully, found none. Then it's an individual anomaly. Ironblade Lord seems slightly disappointed. Have you discovered other special qualities in Banbo? After brief conversation, Ironblade Lord gains some understanding of Banbo. Brocade Mountains cannot remain without warrior guardians. The Black-White Lotus Roach Tribe has urged repeatedly, Crimson Spike Lord cannot spare other warriors, demands our Ironblade Mountains send 3 warriors to slowly manage, starting from scratch, to restore dominion over Brocade Mountains. Banbo is an excellent choice. Carapace color and abilities similar to the Black-White Lotus Roach Tribe. Possesses a god-granted seed, 4 legs long and developed, naturally skilled in combat. Once grown, will have sufficient force to deal with those wretched beasts. Brocade Mountains? Flame Stripes anxiously jumps. Ironblade Lord, no. Banbo is still very weak. It will be eaten by beasts. No, Greyjade's tragedy will repeat with it. Greyjade's tragedy won't repeat with Banbo. I'm fully prepared for this. I'll arrange for Fang Cypress and others to patrol in shifts, protecting Banbo's safe growth until becoming a senior warrior. Flame Stripes vigorously shakes his antennae, repeatedly saying, No, Banbo cannot go. Ironblade Lord places high hopes on Banbo. He can tell Banbo has great potential, so must undergo tempering. Banbo won't be alone. Future new warriors born in Ironblade Mountains? I'll arrange 2 to go to Brocade Mountains. Flame Stripe stammers, but Greyjade is old. He surely doesn't want Banbo going to dangerous places. And Ironblade Lord has already notified Greyjade to come discuss Banbo's fate. He has the most say, right? Ironblade Lord and Flame Stripes' conversation, Banbo understands only vaguely. This planet contains too abundant force. Roaches can evolve into force beings, as can other insects. Animals of all sizes are naturally no exception, especially those large animals. Among them, robust individuals easily evolve into beast fighters, and once becoming beast fighters, quickly gain combat power rivaling insect fighters. Beasts and insects are natural enemies. Clever beasts, realizing they can't defeat insect fighters, also know to change tactics, switching to ambushing and destroying life seed plants. Insect fighter growth depends too heavily on life seeds. Losing life seed plants means losing potential for continued evolution. To prevent such incidents, Ironblade Lord organizes a hunt every month. All Crimson Roach Clan warriors in the mountains mobilizing together, purging and encircling large beasts in the jungle. Brocade Mountains. What dangers exist in the jungle territory under jurisdiction? What caused the original Mountain Lord and many warriors to be completely wiped out? Banbo still doesn't know. Though Ironblade Lord doesn't say it explicitly, Banbo can tell. He doesn't like his black appearance, the so-called similar carapace color and abilities to the Black-White Lotus Roach Tribe, possessing god-granted seed, long-developed forelegs, naturally skilled in combat. All excuses. Disliking Banbo's ugly appearance is the main reason, and conveniently Brocade Mountains urgently needs warriors sent for garrison. Ironblade Lord decisively takes advantage of the situation, pushing Banbo out. Flame Stripes is angry yet helpless. Ironblade Lord is the highest status elder in the entire mountains, must obey his arrangements, cannot defy. A massive roach wobbles through the air toward the peak, circling briefly before landing beside Flame Stripes. It's Greyjade. Greyjade was born in Ironblade Lord's territory. Flame Stripes was born in Greyjade's territory. Banbo was born in Flame Stripes' territory. Concerning Banbo's future prospects, Greyjade and Flame Stripes naturally care most and have most say. Greyjade asks, Ironblade Lord, you have important matters to discuss with me? Flame Stripes answers first. Ironblade Lord plans to arrange Banbo to go to Brocade Mountains. Greyjade thinks for 2 seconds. Very reasonable arrangement. South of Brocade River is Lotus Federation territory. Banbo's carapace color makes communication with the Black-White Lotus Roach Tribe more convenient. When Golden Radiance Lord was stationed at Brocade Mountains, he had many conflicts with the Black-White Lotus Roach Tribe. With Banbo going, the situation should improve. Ironblade Lord nods. Exactly, I think so too. Flame Stripes angrily says, Brocade Mountains is very dangerous, Greyjade. Do you want to see the tragedy that happened to you repeated with Banbo? Greyjade proposes, we can concentrate forces to conduct a major purge of the forests around Dawn Bamboo Peak in Brocade Mountains, minimizing the danger. And Ironblade Lord thinks the same. These past 2 years, Brocade Mountains has lacked warrior rule. Various beasts have bred rampantly. If we continue letting it go, soon our Ironblade Mountains will have no peace. Flame Stripes is still an immature child. Greyjade, you've traveled the continent, are well informed. one of Iron Blade Mountain's rare wise ones. I hope you can personally teach Banbo about hunting and cultivation knowledge. I will, Grey Jade says to Flame Stripes. Take Banbo to visit the mountain's other elders. Don't fool around. Come to my territory tomorrow. Fine, Flame Stripes answers listlessly, calling to Bando. Bando, come. I'll first take you to visit Ironblade Peak's other 4 elders. The 4 Crimson Roach clan senior warriors dwelling on Ironblade Peak are respectively named Fang Cypress, Cloud Peach, Tiger Cypress, and Dawn Bamboo, each managing their territories prosperously, no worse than Amethyst. Ink Mulberry can grow into a senior warrior in 2 or 3 years, though by then Grey Jade will probably have died of old age. Besides Grey Jade, the mountains have several other aging senior warriors. Predictably, in the short term, Ironblade Mountain's senior warrior numbers won't change much. Banbo isn't very interested in Ironblade Mountain's rise and fall, urgently wanting to know just how dangerous Brocade Mountains is, very worried about his future.